Oh, you guys are there. Okay. Well, I just did a live stream and it got very long. So I didn't want to blab and blab and blab, so I stopped. But I'm just going to talk a little bit about my job, maybe for like 20 minutes, because I miss my job. Look at me. I look a mess. I didn't even put it. No, I'm just going to give a quick thing. It's going to be 10 minutes. This was on my desk at work. Isn't that beautiful? That's all I'm saying. And in the dark. So it was sent to me. I resigned from my job, but I was at home when I resigned, so I wasn't at work. So, of course, I couldn't pack up my desk and everything. So I got two boxes sent by courier. I received them a couple of days ago. And it was all my stuff from my desk. It's all thrown into the boxes and sent. No card, nothing. Not that they needed to send me a card, but so that was kind of painful too. But I asked for it. It's what I wanted. I chose to do it. So hi there, one person. Maybe you were the one person left on my last stream. Yeah, I am just so miserable. I'm miserable, and I thought I would share it because that way other people know that if they're miserable, there are other people that are miserable too. And if anything, they're going to say, "What are you crying about? Your problems are nothing compared to mine." so and this is just one of my favorite things that I had on my desk. Actually, I could go through the things that I had on my desk. That'll be a nice video, and I won't talk about my job, but I'll talk about the things that were on my desk. That might be an ASMR. I'm going to do that. Actually, I should go back and change. In when I put uh, for people to come listen, out there, I think I put my job or something. I should go back and say I'm going through each item that was on my desk or something like that. Yeah, that'll keep my mind a little better. That's what I'll do. Hello, Ryan. I have to make a decision today about if I'm staying or leaving for my mental health. I think I need a break. Okay. Yeah, the main issue, Brian, is where's your money going to come from? That I'm in a situation where I miss the money, but I don't need the money. I don't have to pay rent because I'm living with my boyfriend. So there are ways to get around it, which um, I have a place to live if I lose my job. So that's your first concern, I think. If you can't afford it financially, well, then again, if it's for mental health, I think we discussed this yesterday. Your Find out about your plans. If in England they have it, disability, short-term disability. So they'll give you time off. They'll keep paying you. They may pay you less. In my case, they paid me 80% because I really got crazy. I needed it. I'm not some people take advantage of it and they're not. I really needed it, and I never even occurred to me to do that. I thought, oh, I'm crazy. I guess I'll have to either quit or they'll fire me. That was. So I called human resources. I said I can't work anymore. I assumed I was going to quit. And that's when they said to me, but you maybe could ask them directly because I didn't know it existed. I used to be on benefits for my mental health disorder that brought on about. Oh, it'll only be a few months. Oh, okay. If you can do that, then do it. Yeah, if you're going to have an income, and then decide maybe in the meantime while you're off on disability, maybe get some business cards printed up. 10 doesn't have to be a huge amount. Start with 10 or print them yourself on your computer and do everything that I tell you to do and don't do myself. But yeah, I'm thinking that in my head that's what I'm going to start doing. But then here I am. I could be printing the cards right now, couldn't I? And I'm just sitting here. So it's so easy to tell others what to do and then not do it oneself. So, but yeah, definitely, Ryan, I completely understand you. It's especially dealing with customers sometimes if you're in a working retail or a hotel or these, what do you call them, the lines where you answer phones. I used to work that too. you have to learn to just, people will say things that they really hurt you, and you just have to continue, a good customer service person continues to be polite, even when the person is saying whatever they want to say to you. Doesn't mean you have to say they're right and give them everything they want, but, sir, okay, I'm sorry for your, hey, you effing a-hole, you don't know how to run your business, blah, 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 Oh, I'm so sorry, sir, for your dissatisfaction with our service. They train you beforehand. Now let's see how we can do this. Maybe you give them a discount. Maybe you give them a refund. Sometimes it's not even worth it. Oh, here's your refund. There are customers who say, oh, some of them you can't please them. You're already complaining. So just, okay, here's your refund. Sorry, bye. At least in their, because then they'll give you a review. They might say, well, I had to fight for a refund or something. And if they don't say what really happened, then the good thing about the reviews today, some of them allow you to respond as the company. So you give a professional response, it reflects well on your business. But yeah, customer service is very difficult. So I was going to talk about my things on my desk at work. So this is the first thing. I'm going to try to find the chimney. Hello, KL. I just did a really long live. I started getting depressed. I started almost screaming. So I decided to end that one. If you're not into screaming over politics and stuff like that, don't listen to my last live. I'm going to do this one for a little while longer, and then I've got to get my act together. I'm just doing this because I enjoy it, and I'm not doing things I should be doing. But all right, I'm getting the box with my other stuff. There were two boxes. One was my shoes, because I kept all of my shoes at work so that I would walk to work, or I'd take the metro to work wearing comfortable shoes. And when I would get to work, I would switch into my nice shoes. So I have a whole box of those. That was one of the boxes that they sent. And then the other box is they just, what it looks like to me is they put a box under where the counter is, my desk. They put the box here. They probably took an arm, just swiped everything into the box. That's what they did. Nobody likes me at that job anymore. I had so many friends. Friends at work. Okay, one thing. Okay, here's one thing that was on my desk. Here's the cute little light. Two people. Nobody cares. Oh, well, maybe someone will watch it later. I'm trying to find the chimney to this thing. I'm going to turn it off because I don't want to waste it. So beautiful. At nighttime, it's really gorgeous when it's dark. You only see the colors. I bought this for my boyfriend. It was one February. What was Valentine's Day a couple of years ago. And I ate most of the chocolates. I bought it for him, but I ate most of the chocolates. And then I kept this, and he said, "Why don't you throw that thing out?" So it was basically a Valentine's present for myself, because he didn't want to even keep the box. So I kept the box, and I had it on my desk. It was so nice. It's a nice box. There's no chocolate left. Of course, I ate it all. But, it's just a box like this. And I even could put it on poster board and trace around it, And then it has sparkly things that jiggle around. Oh, it's backwards on the screen, but it says love. And these things, they move around. These sparkly, there's stuff in there. And we'll watch them spill. I guess they're not spilling. But anyway. Oh, that's no good. Okay, well, it kind of spills. It's fun. Anyway, so that's that. That was on my desk. Up there. This, actually, if anyone wants this, post a comment and maybe DM me. This is a book of pictures of dogs shaking water off of themselves. So they look very funny. This is some kind of mastiff. I know it looks terrifying, doesn't it? But you know how mastiffs have very loose skin. So when they shake off water, here's his eye, if you can tell. That's one eye. There's his other eye. That's his mouth kind of flopping around because he's shaking water off of himself. And it's a whole book of that. I think that's the same dog. Shake. The name of the book is Shake. So I didn't have it on my desk. I had this tucked away, planning on giving it away. Here's the back. There's more dogs. I mean, it's full of dogs. Let me find one more. Hi. Let's see. Let's find a good one. If anyone posts below a kind of dog, because they have pure breed dogs and they have, mixed breeds. But if there's a particular breed of dog that you like, post it in the chat and I'll see if it has one. Here's one of those. Okay, here's one. Whew, this one is scary looking. They're scary because they're shaking around, but this is I think a Brussels Griffin. If you know the breed, it's a breed that's kind of quirky looking anyway. Wait, the light is ruining it. Okay. See the water? That's water flailing off of him as he shakes. I mean, look, can you see it? I wish the light would stop. The light is kind of so you can see the rest of my hoarding. Is that better? Anyway, so if you're interested in this book, I actually have more than one. I'll request you pay for shipping. I don't remember what I paid for this. Let me see if the price is on here. I bought several, so I got a discount because my idea was to pass them out to people at Christmas that year. Okay, it says here in the cover that it's $17.99. So I won't charge you that, but the shipping, might be $10. I don't know. I'd have to weigh it. If you're interested, I'll weigh it. So the shipping might be within the United States. If you want it abroad, I'd say look it up and Google it and see if they sell it in your country because the shipping would be ridiculous. Unless the shipping would be less than $17.99, but it won't, because if it goes to Europe or some other country, you probably will have to pay import fees. Depends what's being shipped, but so a Shar-Pei. All right, let me look. I think there was a Shar-Pei. Well, this first one was a Mastiff. I'll just look quick. I don't remember the Shar-Pei, but I'll go through this. This is some kind of a bulldog, Brussels Griffin. Oh, a Chinese crested. I used to have a Cholos Quintly, but I think it was crossbreed. I'll look for the Shar-Pei, sorry. I think my doggy was crossbred with a Chinese crested. This is, they're also called Mexican hairless. They have hair sometimes, but as you see, the body's hairless and they've got some hair there sometimes. And so this is a Chinese crested, but it looks very much like the Mexican hairless. I think the breeds are related. And there's a little Chihuahua in there too sometimes. So, okay, Shar-Pei. I'm still looking. They should have a Shar-Pei. That would be one of the best ones to have in here. But I don't see one so far. There's... My goodness, what is that? Okay, I'll show you a cup. It's not a Shar-Pei yet, but I'll show you the ones that are really funny. What the heck? What the heck? It doesn't even look like a dog. It's a poodle, a standard poodle, I think. They're not actually saying. It's actually scary looking. It looks like a deformed dog, but I promise you, it's just a dog shaking water off himself. What the heck is that? That's a bull mastiff, a coonhound. That's an Akita. I'm recognizing Boston Terrier. So Neapolitan. Oh God, a pug. I love pugs. Can you see it? Look at him here. He looks like he's just shaking himself off, but he looks like he's terrified of something. Oh, poor baby. Yeah, he's being scared of something. He's not. But because he looks, it makes me want to. There's a hardly used version. I'm using it now that I'm looking through it. Yorkshire Terrier. Ooh, that's not a Shar-Pei, but Jiminy Crickets, look at that one. That's a Neapolitan Mastiff, which is not a Shar-Pei, it's that loose skin. I think that's a Springer or Brittany Spaniel. No, I don't see any Shar-Pei. Basset Hound. Oh, some of them I don't even think they're any kind of breed. Oh, there's an Afghan Hound. Yes, Shar-Pei. I'll go quick, but oh, there's one in a wheelchair. Oh, I got to go through the rest of my stuff, but there's a wheelchair dog. Missing his front paws. The Poodly. Yeah, no Shar-Pei. Shar would have been the best one. All that extra skin. There had to be one. Are you still there? Amaya. Okay, if you're still there, I don't know. But oh, I'm late and nobody's here, so I guess I'll end it. To go through the book. Is that a Shar-Pei? All right. Well, I'll see you guys around, maybe tomorrow. Because I don't see any Shar-Peis. Oh, okay. Quick before I hang up. There is on the very back of the book, they have all of the different pictures. So I'm quick looking to Shar-Pei. I have one in here, which makes no sense to be sure. Balrog. Well, you got some funny looking dogs in here. The poodle. Okay. So that's the book I'm reviewing. Shake. And next, I'm going through a box of things that my job that I just quit shoved into a box, 2 boxes, and sent me. If anyone's still here, would you rather? Oh, there's no one here. Oh, hi, Amaya. Yeah, okay. I guess I'll just keep doing this. You can watch later. I hope it's ASMR. I can't snap gum anymore, so. I had this is metal, and it's magnetic. Oh my gosh, I have all these Smart Trip cards. These belong to my job. I'm going to have to send these back to Bummer. I just sent a box of things that I returned yesterday. My keys. I should have gone through this box first. I sent them back, my access card and my keys yesterday. And this is, these are Metro Rail cards. There's no money on them, so I guess it doesn't matter. But, I mean, according to this, there's no money on them. But we have this for when people visit the office. They sometimes need to use the Metro, so we charge it up for them and give it to them. So I guess I'll return that. Or, I mean, I'm not stealing from them really because, you know, it's just the plastic cards with no money on them. But the cards, I think they charge a little bit when you first buy the card, like a couple of dollars. So I don't know. I'll see. I'm not going to send it by courier like I did the other stuff because that cost an arm and a leg. Oh, I had a book. This is from 2019. It was given to me after the year was over so that I could color in. It was one of those coloring book agendas. So I would sometimes relieve stress by coloring it in. Oh, my coworker gave it to me. Oh, guys, it's so hard. It's so hard for me. Some people don't get so attached to the coworkers, but to me, my coworkers they're my at-work friends. It's like going to school. You have your your friends at school, and now you're no longer apart. You're now, because I chose to leave or because they fire you, but you're no longer a part of them. It's like it's a job, it's just a way to earn a living, but you develop a family if you're at a job long enough. You develop sort of a family feeling, especially if you've been there even just a year or two. I wasn't there that long, but this, I don't know why I have this. These are those chips you get at Home Depot, which give you different color paint selections and the names. Grasslands. This one is called, I taped them together because I thought they were so pretty. Wow. Okay. Grasslands. This one is called Sunny Side Up. This one is called Sizzling Sunset. This is red. It looks orange on the screen, but it's red, and it's called Stiletto Love. This one is called Notorious. They give them these crazy names. It's just purple, violet. This is a blue that I liked. It's not quite, it's called National Anthem. Maybe, I'm guessing, but no, I think the color of the blue on our flag is darker. So I don't know why it's called National Anthem, but one coat paint from the brand Bear. So I had this on my desk as a decoration. I thought it was cute. I hung it from something. I don't know. I had a really nice desk. Oh, it was huge. It was huge. It's a very, very rich company. It's a law firm. I had a desk that was like 8 feet long. And on the back of me were drawers and 8 more feet long. Or maybe 4 or 5 feet, because I had to share. Okay, I had to share with a coworker. So we were in a long space with long counters on front of us and long on the back of us. And we could walk through the space. I didn't know what to do with all that room. It was just so, it was so beautiful. And it inspired me to be creative because it was empty, not like this hoarding room. That space was clean. So you just want to put the touches of yourself, that, it was so nice. And it was big, so it never got cluttered. I hardly used any paper because I used PDF online documents for everything. And the company used them. So my desk, it was so beautiful. I miss it so much. And it had a button. It had 2 kinds of lights, so you could do the lighting how you like. It had a button so you can make the desk go up. And like, let's say you're tired of sitting, you're getting a little uncomfortable. You could make the desk go up high so you could stand up and work. Or you could lower it if you felt like being lower. I mean, I can't think of one thing that was missing. The offices were all open with windows, not hidden. You could see the attorneys working in their offices, and then they had large windows, so the light came in. Whereas some offices, the attorneys have their offices with nice windows, but the offices are in walls. So the secretaries are all in the middle working in our cubicles or whatever, and we don't see daylight. So it can get very depressing. So they made this change to the office. When I first worked there, it was a certain way. And then while I was still working there, they changed the offices to make it more bright for everyone. So we'd have natural, it was a company with such good goals, which is why it surprised me when they overlooked some of the very basic things that I noticed. And I kind of tried to bring it to their attention, but maybe I didn't go about it the right way. And as I said, I get very impassioned, and I ended up quitting, but I believe they would have fired me. So, it's sad. It's sad. What can I do? I just have to accept it. Look what one of my coworkers gave to me back when I was still part of the team. He gave me a daily calendar. This was for 2020. See, this was, for example, this is the 23rd. Can you see it? They're shoes. Every day of the year, you get a different shoe on the back, and just amazing shoes made by designers of different, and they're real shoes really for sale. I mean, you probably wouldn't buy some of them. Look at that one. I just, this is a job that you love to be at. Ah, I'm not going to cry. I'm just so bitter. I mean, if a coworker gives you something like this, especially to you, it wasn't like me. I bought a bunch of these books and I wrapped them and I just handed them out to everybody. Okay, that's a nice thing to do. But this particular coworker really cared about me. He went to the trouble of, he knows how much I love shoes, and that's a friend. Even if you never see them outside of work, that's a friend. And then to have everybody ignore you for whatever reason, because they're afraid that if they talk to you, their job might get on their case, So I forgive them for ignoring me, or, not, but it hurts. This is one of my bosses went to Israel on a trip one time, and I would prepare their trips, and I always made sure the trips were, I wanted to make sure that all right, anyway, whatever. So in Israel, as bosses will do, it's not anything. They'll buy a little present for their secretary or something on their trip. The guys at the World Bank used to do it's common. It's, a boss will buy a little present on their business trip for the secretary. So, but he bought me this wonderful cream from Israel, Dead Sea salts, and the smell is gone. But I kept the bottle because it's so beautiful. There's a little mirror, like not a great mirror. It's plastic up here. This is glass. What do you call that? Frosted glass. Shemen Amour Dead Sea. It was very nice. It's probably as nice as many other creams. The cream itself smelled delicious. It was nice. It was hydrating. I mean, everything that, beauty creams offer. I don't know how much he paid for it, but it was a beautiful gift. I enjoyed it from the moment I was using the cream the first time to when the cream ran out and I used it. At one point I had filled it with colorful beads. So the lighting that I could adjust at my desk would give it a special glow. When I go like this, shake my head sad, it's because I'm sad that I'm no longer in that job, even though it was my choice to leave. It's a very difficult feeling, because when it was your choice to leave a job that you love, or it was your choice to leave a man that you love, or anything that you love, it's bitter. It's a bitter feeling because you didn't want to leave, but you were left with no choice at a certain point. So, I don't know, here's from the benefits department, a stress reliever from the health benefits department. Okay, that's cute. Oh, stress relief, health, But this is, a little ceramic pot. I filled it with junk, another stress ball. I mean, these are things that, you do start to accumulate at the office. Here's another stress ball. It's the world, stress ball, creative, So I have 2 stress balls. Obviously didn't work because I'm not at the job anymore. I got this. I think I bought this. This is a little Post-its. These are Post-its, shape of a fish. I'm so sad, you guys. All right, and this was a little. Oh gosh, I've got cards in there from my bosses. Oh, yeah. Oh, I have a card from all my bosses in here. I think, I had forgotten about this. I kept this with their cards in it in case, because occasionally someone will be around and ask you for your boss's card, and it's common that they ask you for it. So I like to have a couple around in case, because it happened too often that people will ask you for your boss's card and you don't have it. So I kept a few of these at my, so now I have their cards. Here's one that left. She was one of my bosses, but she found a better job. So she left before, him. That was my crazy boss. That was one of the younger ones. Some of the girls. Oh, well. My other boss that was a little bit less crazy. I mean, I even wonder among my bosses, I wonder if some of them think, too bad. Shucks, she was kind of nice, but maybe they do. I'll just never know. A barrette. Okay, just full of junk. These are some cards, cardboard. Oh, here's another present that a boss brought me from another business trip, which I was nice enough not to tell him was messed up, but I'll show you that in a minute. I can't even find the other part of it. Oh, it's in there somewhere. I can't even find it. They just threw my stuff into the box. They didn't even bother making it look pretty. Well, who knows? It was probably one of the people from office services that I didn't know very well. They're just doing their job. But I actually knew the people at office services, and I was kind of nice with all of them. So whoever one of them did it could have been nicer about it. But anyway, maybe I'm asking too much. Okay, so this is a calendar. I can't find the months, but you see, you put in the date at the bottom, and at the top there were some smaller ones which had the months. So one of my bosses went on a business trip. Oh, here they are. This balsa wood. Okay, and it was a Latin American country. He would travel all over the world. They traveled all over the world. That's one part I loved about the job, was making their travel arrangements and hotel arrangements. And I would go the extra mile preparing for their trips. I would make sure that they know who to call for the taxi at this time, make sure they knew which airport, because some cities had more than one airport. So you want to make sure they knew to tell the taxi driver to go to the other airport, not the one that they, I was very, and they appeared to appreciate it. I don't know. I thought they did. But anyway, so on that one trip to Latin America, he came back with this thing. And see, here's the little balsa wood. It's square with the different months on it. There are 3. Oops. So I don't know what today's date is. Let's just pick a date by random. 20th of July. July 20th. No year. Okay, so there's that. Oh, but there is something wrong with this. There's one thing that I never told my boss, because first of all, it was just a little token of appreciation. It's not like he probably spent much. But for the dates, okay, we have all the months. There's 12 months in a year. We have 4 sides on each piece of wood. There's 3. 4 times 3 is 12. There, you just got a little math lesson. But for the numbers, look, we have 1s, we have 2s, we have 0s. Okay, 0. I'll go in order. We have 0s, 1. Oh, we have 0s. We have 1, 2. That's it. There's no 3s. There are no 3s. So, for the 30th and 31st, you couldn't do it. But let's see what else there isn't. Is there a 4? There's not even a 4. There's no 3 or 4. I didn't notice. I thought there was only one number missing. So it's 1, it's 0, 1, 2. There's no 3, no 4, no 5, no 6. Oh, yeah, there is a 6. 6, 7, and 8. So my issue was at certain days of the month, I couldn't put the date because the number was missing. So, I mean, obviously, some numbers don't matter. The one that you, yeah. No, it does. You need to have all the numbers, even if some of them only come up once. What's that? October 67th. All right. This was not given to me. It was from one of my bosses who left the company because she found a different job. She left on good terms. So yeah, they had a going away party for her and all that stuff that would have been nice that would have had for me, but it was different circumstances. So she left the office and she was my boss. So she left. She packed up all her stuff. She left. Goodbye. We had a teary-eyed farewell with the party. And then when she was gone, I went into her office to, clean up the loose ends and, because a new attorney would be moving in soon. So she left a lot of her personal things. So, I got them, put them in a box, donated or whatever. But there was this little, it could even be a Christmas ornament. Maybe you could fill it with something Christmassy. But this is some sort of Viking from Norway or from a Viking from Scandinavia, because they were doing some work over there. So I guess everyone in the group on the team got a little token. So maybe they got candy. I don't know. I like to imagine what they did abroad. That's why I loved making the travel arrangements for my bosses and the associates and I love doing their expense reports. Because when I made the travel arrangements, I imagined them on the trip. Like, oh, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. It was almost like I was traveling myself. And then, they're on the trip. Occasionally they'd contact me if they had a little issue or something, but it was usually not too much. My one boss would always call because he lost something or he was having some problem with his computer. Or one time he called me because he forgot his iPad on a plane somewhere in the middle of Latin America. He's expecting me to find it. And guess what? I did find it. I was so surprised. That was when I first started working there. I get this. First I got a, let me think of it, because that was one of the most exciting things I've done in my secretarial years. Let's see, he was on a trip. He had to go to several Latin American countries. Maybe it was Peru, one of the stops. But anyway, I think he emailed. And I had already left because it was after 5. So, he emailed, oh, I forgot my iPad on the plane. I don't know what to do, whatever. Can you please call the airlines and see if there's something we can do? Something like that. And I was like, yeah, good luck. And I was like, right. First of all, Latin America, okay, my preconceived thing was like, oh, right. Well, after he got off the plane, the cleaning people came on, saw a nice new iPad and decided to keep it. How can you, you can't, how are you going to stop them, So that's what I assumed probably happened. But I said, okay, well, I got to at least try, just because if he asked me if I called and I didn't call, because I probably wouldn't have bothered calling, frankly. But I said, I got to at least show that I called. So I called, but before that, so it was after 5. I'd already gone home. But there is a secretary who stays until 7. She comes in later. She stays later. So since she was on duty, he wrote to the whole team, and she was the one who was there. He knew I was gone, but still. So she doesn't speak Spanish, first of all, which doesn't matter. But, I'll make it short. So she looked up online what could be done about it, because he had left it the night before then. And she found a form that could be filled out online, and she emailed it to me. Okay. She did what she felt was fine, what she should have done. If I had been her, but again, it wasn't her direct boss. So whether it's right or not, you tend to feel more loyalty to your own boss. So to her, oh, that lady's boss lost his iPad. Oh, well, I'm sure she didn't put her all into it. Like, whereas me, he's my boss. At least my personality is like, oh, I've got to, but I even felt this is useless. Come on, even for this boss, I thought to myself, because he's one of those bosses that always wants more than which is fine to. I keep going on tangents, but it's okay to demand more from your employee. That's fine, but some bosses go way, I mean, beyond, like you've given everything and like there's nothing more you can do and they're still expecting you to do something. So this boss was sort of like that sometimes. Sometimes he demanded more, and he should, because, I'm the employee. I should be doing my job. But even for me, that one was like, are you serious? You left it on the plane yesterday, and the plane is probably not even in the same spot where it was, and the cleaning crew come out. In my head, I was thinking, give it up. What? Just get over it. You lost your iPad, buy a new one. That was my attitude. But I said, okay, so I got into the office the next day. I saw the emails that what had happened the night before. The final email was the other secretary who had sent the link to the form to fill out if you lost something. I was like, well, you could have at least filled it out, but she didn't, So I filled in that form quickly, and I did it in Spanish because I figured this form is going to end up in some, I think it was Peru. I actually don't remember. I believe it was Peru. It's going to end up in Peru, at the airport in Peru. So, make sure it's in Spanish, so at least whoever reads it, if they don't know English, at least they'll know what it's about. So I did that in Spanish. And I sent it thinking, yeah, right, this is not going to end up anywhere. But, I did think if somebody reads it, if this is taken seriously, it's going to end up in Latin America. And then I did something else, though. I guess I called the 1-800 number. This happened years ago. Yeah, I called the 1-800 number, asked to be transferred to Lost and Found, and I started speaking to the woman there in English. She had a Hispanic accent, so she might have been, I don't know what country these call centers you call and the person answering could be anywhere. So, but she had a Latina accent, like she spoke Spanish, I felt. So at one point she's like, oh, I'm sorry, we can just take your report. There's not much else we can do. Something like that. She was in the middle of telling me, when I guess at some point she crossed paths with that previous form that I'd filled out in Spanish. That I guess that somehow got to her too, or she looked it up on, something happened, because I know she, out of the blue, like she was like, oh, there's not much we can do. Why don't you write to us, to this email? She didn't even refer me to the form, and, explain a little bit what happened. And then of course we'll, just the usual spiel. And as she was telling me that, it's like she stopped in mid-sentence and she said, oh, but however, there may be some information about your product, so apparently what I had written before, I had described the item. And so it somehow crossed just at that moment that I was speaking with that lady. So she's like, oh, well, actually someone may have already reported this missing thing, and so you could call this number at the and it was the number to the, which I probably could have looked up, but it was the number to the airport where he had lost his thing. So it was somewhere. At least there was news that it existed somewhere. And then so I called the number and this and that. I asked to be transferred here and there, and somehow I lucked out a little bit and I found the name of the person who was in charge of those things. But he's not in charge of those things. He was a general manager, and that was one of the things that came across his desk. Someone just wrote. And so I ended up emailing with him, said a few things. It looks like this. It's like this. It's this color. It was on this flight, blah, blah, blah. We assume maybe the cleaning people might have come across it. I didn't accuse anyone of anything, of course, but I said perhaps some of the cleaning people might have turned it in. I kind of implied, like, without implying, but yeah, one of the cleaning people might have turned it in after cleaning the plane, or and it turns out they had. As it turns out, one of the cleaning people found it and turned it into lost and found. What can you believe it? All of this preconceived stuff that I had decided was going to happen, it turns out I was wrong. And he was a nice man. Now, first of all, not to be whatever, but you couldn't really get into the iPad without the secret code, the PIN number. So even if someone would have stolen it, they would have had to, which is completely possible, go and have the thing hacked or whatever you do to make it usable again. So, but even so, it's doable, and the person chose not to do it and turn it in. And yeah, and this gentleman was very, oh yeah, we have it here. Tell your boss to come to this location at this time, because he had a flight out the next day. So, he wasn't going to go all the way to the airport. So anyway, long story short, I let my boss know it's at the airport. It's at this location. When you go to get your plane tomorrow, you can stop by, pick it up, blah, blah, blah. It all happened. He got his iPad back and everything was wonderful. So I don't remember how I got on that topic, but just my point is that I really gave more to my bosses than I was required to by my job. And I didn't go overboard, but I did do little extras that I wish they might have noticed. And, and even though I'm not working there more, I don't want to work there anymore at this point, but I guess I wish the human in some of my coworkers would come out and say, sorry that happened to you, too bad, see you around, have a nice life. It doesn't mean they have to be my friend, but I would feel better if one of them did that. Or, hey, Merry Christmas. Sorry about, like on Christmas Day, Merry Christmas. Sorry about what happened, but oh well, you were a nice person. It was a pleasure knowing you. Something like that would make me feel better. But even my closest friends at work aren't going to do it. I've left jobs before, so I know how it is. It's like, whether they liked you or not, you're no longer a part of them. So you can't be friends. You can't be anything. These are some beads from Mardi Gras in Miami. I went to a Mardi Gras event in Miami back in the day. This actually doesn't belong to me. It's from the secretary who had my position before she quit and I got the position. She had this on her desk. And I think maybe it's to hold business cards. It's got a space here. So I think it's probably to, stick to something on your desk. In this case, for example, I had this kind of pencil holder thing, kind of not really a pencil holder, but for example, see here, you could, if you have something metal on your desk, you put this here, you put your business card there. You get when you have your own beautiful desk at these big corporations, it's nice. It's nice. And if you're a girl that was raised the way I was, but you like to have cute little nice things around and organize your desk, and I don't know. Oh, I almost want to cry a little bit. I got metallic pens to fill in my, anyway. Work was my home away from home, Especially at home, you deal with real life many times. Whereas at work, you escape real life in a way. You're working, you got to, but for me, work has always been an escape from reality. You go, as a secretary, I find excuses to get dressed up nice, to go out. Whereas if you're a person who's very solitary or very into your head a lot and maybe don't communicate as well as I do here on YouTube, but in person, I'm a completely different person sometimes, not always, but work is a very healthy thing, not for the money necessarily. Work going out of your house. If you're one of those shy people that doesn't like to go out, it gives you a reason to go out, get on the metro rail, see people, feel proud of yourself that you're working. You know, one thing that happens when you can't keep a job is people really make you feel miserable about it. They're like, "Oh, you can't even hold down a job." All right, well, yeah, I can't. So, you feel sorry for me. Don't judge me for it. Feel sorry for me that I can't keep down a job because I go crazy every once in a while. I'm not even going to cry about it. I'm just mad. I'm not even mad. I'm not trying to get people to feel sorry for me. I'm just angry. If you're those people that says, "Oh, the mentally ill, we should help them, they this and that and the other, and they're judged," and well, then treat us like you preach. Oh, I'm going to get my shoe boxes. I have a box of the stuff from my desk, and now I have a box of shoes, which some of you might really enjoy. If I remember where I stuck it. I think I put it in my closet. So shoes, boom. That's how I organize. Now I got to dig through. If I want to get dressed up to go somewhere, I have to dig through the box. Yeah, I'll do the shoes, you guys. I'm just dilly-dallying to avoid doing what I really should be doing. So I'm going to show you the shoes, and then I'm gonna log off. Here's the other thing about shoes. Is like now that I have the shoes, I feel like putting together outfits together with the shoes to show you how I use the shoes with my outfits. But that might be another video that I planned and never took off the ground, but where I'm teaching people how to dress for the young ladies, but because I'm not a man, I can have some idea about how men can dress at offices and stuff, but you can really go more out than you used to, and depending on your office. For example, some days I wore these boots. I got them on Wish. They're, like for me, again, to some of you, they're like, "Oh, yeah, pair of boots." Like to me, this is OMG. I am way out of my comfort zone. Like, so I had implemented at the office for myself, but I kind of joke around it with my coworkers, Fashion Risk Monday. So every Monday, the game was you had to wear something slightly out of your comfort zone for fashion, staying within the limits of being appropriate for the office, but it's just something that to you is out of your comfort zone. So something like this for me, it only goes up to your knee. They're not thigh highs. And I wear long skirts. So I would wear this like with pants or a long skirt, not a mini skirt for my age, but and that was like for me, first of all, it made me this much taller. So I mean that in itself I'm 5'4", so this made me like 5'8", 5'7", 5'8". For me, that's I'm afraid of heights. So about 4 or 5 inches is about all I can handle. But so these were nice. These are nice. I got them on Wish, inexpensive. I'm not even sure that they're real leather because I only wore them once. So I wonder if these are real leather. I don't think they are. They were so cheap, I don't think they could possibly have been leather. But it feels like good quality vinyl, though. It's not the kind of vinyl that's going to fall apart. It's a good quality vinyl if it's not leather. I believe it is not leather. So those are those. I got 2 of those boots. Here's the other one. These are from Lord & Taylor. It's a place that's not cheap. It's a little higher up. It's higher up than Ross, for example, but it's not Neiman Marcus or Saks Fifth Avenue. But it's got stuff that you can get on sale. They have a clearance rack and all that, but they have things that are slightly a little more expensive, but still reasonable if you have a steady job. And on top of that, they have the sales. So I always buy when stuff is on sale. When I need a pair of shoes, I try not to buy too many clothes because people do tend to waste a lot on clothes that they never end up using much. But I needed a pair of shoes. So that's how I think when I shop to save money. One of you was asking me one way to save money. For clothing, I think, do I really need it? First of all, can I knit it? Because I know how to knit. Can I knit it? Or do I feel like knitting it? That's the other question. Because sometimes I can knit it, but I don't feel like so. All right, if I can't, then I say, okay, I need a pair of shoes to go with this, with a few outfits. First of all, when I buy shoes, I try to buy a color and style that will match with pants, with a skirt, with a variety of outfits. So this is one of them. This color is kind of burgundy color, if it's not showing up there. Suede. It is suede. I'm sorry, vegans. Leather. Lord and Taylor. So I mean, nothing much to say. That's how I shop. And occasionally, if it's really cheap, like those boots, I saw them on Wish. They were very inexpensive. I said, sometimes I will do a little, buy something I wouldn't ordinarily buy if it's cheap. But I certainly wouldn't have bought those boots if they were, over, I don't think they were even over $20, to be honest. Plus shipping. I mean, I don't think it was even $20. That's what I'm saying. Okay, here's the other one. These I got at Ross. Look at, again, kind of out of my comfort zone because I don't usually wear spiky heels. But I saw the color. I like the combination of the beige with the black. It's very neutral, but it's a little out of there, out of the. And this would match almost any outfit. Black, beige. It goes with any color. I said, it's all right. It's this, the, what do you call it? The heels get a little crunkled up a little bit. You got to be careful. That's why you don't wear these to work. Because unless you drive maybe, but if you take the Metro Rail or you walk, or some of you might be young and are going to start applying to work now that stuff's opening up and so many people have quit. Even my job, I'm dreaming some young, wide-eyed youngster, male or female, gets my job that I just left. And learns all the beautiful things. And who knows, maybe the company will change some of the policies that I complained about. Who knows, maybe they'll change the policies now that I brought it up and left. They may not care that I left, but they may care, other people may think like she does, so maybe we should review the policies, So I still have some hope for that company, which was one of the best companies I've ever worked for. Again, so yeah, here you go. I'll put my YouTube if any of you are interested. I did start a YouTube channel where I was going to teach people who are interested in working in an office, secretarial work, receptionist, the things that I talk about. I had started a YouTube channel a few years ago where I was going to start teaching things about secretarial work and how to dress, how to do the actual software, Word, Excel. I was going to do like a whole thing and I never did. So, but let me see if I can find that. I think I started. I get traumatized so easily. I think I named that one. Yeah. Okay, here it is. Yeah, I did it years ago and I never added to it. About getting a job in an office and everything about an office. Here's the channel. Yeah, there's me talking. However, notice how now. Okay. Here is that. Watching you while I work, it makes me feel not so. Yeah, thank you, Coronado. Me too. Oh, I haven't read any of these. I'm just talking to myself. But exactly, you feel alone, even if sometimes you're surrounded by people and you feel lonely. It's weird. But where are we? What are we doing here? Coronado A. Watching you on. Good morning. I can relate with what you're saying. I'm currently working from home. Oh, you live in Miami. I may be going back there actually, because now that I don't have work and my parents are kind of old, as much as I love my boyfriend, but we could work it out. I've been discussing with him, well, now that I'm not in a steady job anymore, maybe I could come and go every so often, visit my parents every couple of weeks or every month and stay a couple of weeks, you know. So now we're discussing that and we'll see what comes out of that. But I'm working too in the office listening to you. Oh, good. So I'm not disrupting anyone's life. I'm disrupting my own life by not, and it's my choice. I'm not doing what I should be doing, but I'll talk a little longer and then maybe what time is it? 10:53. So, all right, I'll go through my shoes. Um, but you younger people who maybe have never had a job before, uh, yeah, go to my. Did I post it? Oh, I didn't post it yet. So this is my channel for those of you, if anyone's listening or listening later, that I started and just kind of. How do I paste? Oh, here we go. There it is. If anyone's watching now or later, I started a channel where I would teach, the secretarial business, the secretarial job. This is how you do, this is how to get your foot in the door. This is what you do at work. These are the things you might, and I was, excited about it. And then I just kind of did a few videos and left it there. So it's there. I'd like to try to kind of pick that up again, that idea. Maybe teaching online, like I said, Excel, which is very important. It's an important program that even the jobs themselves don't realize how important Excel is. But this is a corn blue. I've had these for years. These are in one of my videos, actually, back from years ago when I worked in Miami. They're getting a little old. These, I think I must have bought at Ross. Franco Sarto. Yeah, I probably bought it at Marshall's or Ross because that's a brand that you get at one of those places. So these I bought online as well. These are a little bit less out of my comfort zone because you see the heel is. Let me show you the comparison. I love boots, brown. Regular pair of sort of. They reach my knee, I guess. Do they go? Yeah, just to the knee. Same as these. But look at the difference. These are out of my comfort zone. And these are not out of my comfort zone. This is something for me that, I could wear these. Like square, it's kind of square. You see, they're slightly less, I guess, slightly less sexy, And as much as they're alike, they're boots, You're sending a different message. That's why when people say, oh, when you take it to the extreme, people will blame women for being harassed. And no, again, it's one of those things, no woman deserves to be harassed at the office, sexually or any other way. But and even if a man thinks these are sexy, he still does not have a right to tell you, hey baby, let's go, but cut them a little slack, because this is a lot sexier and more draws more attention than these. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not saying, oh, women need to dress differently to not be harassed. Men should not be harassing us. But, I'll leave it at that. You have a choice and you can decide to. I've worn these to the office. And actually, one of the gentlemen that I work with gave me a quick look, not, which was more than, okay, well, he just gave a quick look like he liked it. You can read into it. And now that's up to me to either, pretend I didn't notice it, which is what I did. I chose to do it because he was looking at me because I looked sexy that day. So, now I'm going to get mad because he looked at me. Well, then, but see, you're walking a fine line there, because then no matter what you wear, because then we take it to the next step. Then they'll be comparing these boots that I feel are not that sexy to, some other shoe that's frumpier. So I guess the way is, women dress sexy or dress however you want, but try to learn the little cues that men subconsciously pick up on. We're animals, we're apes. Just remember that. So, if you do wear these, which you have every right to wear to work, uh, just cut the guys a little slack. I mean, if he looks at you, just ignore it. Now, if he starts saying, hey, you gotta come with me and do this kind of stuff, whatever, obviously you're gonna make a report on him and again, maybe you like the guy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sometimes you have a crush on a guy at work and you do want to dress a little sexier, hoping he'll look at you. And you're doing that for him. But unfortunately, the other men are going to find you sexy too, So you all have to kind of control yourselves. The woman has to control her urge to be mad at the men who look at her who she doesn't want looking at her, because maybe the guy, maybe she got all dressed sexy for that guy and that guy just happened to not care. He just didn't happen to find it. And then all the guys she doesn't like find it attractive. And then what is she going to report all those other guys? So I don't know. But yeah, if the guy is implying more than just a quick look, then yeah, you probably should either say something to him or, prepare yourself before it happens though. Because you might get an extra look or two wearing certain clothes or so did I go through all my shoes? Okay. I paid more for these. So that's why I told some of you before that you can spend very little on clothing when you work in an office, and you still can. And I buy a lot of shoes from, Marshalls, Ross. But ordinarily, I try to save up and buy better shoes and better purses. That's where I splurge a little bit, but I wouldn't consider it splurging because the way I feel, something like this, which is from Coach. Coach is a leather brand. Again, I'm so sorry, vegans. I try to be as vegan as I possibly can with food. I'm not. I do a little better than I used to with the leather, but no furs. I am completely no reason to use a fur for any absolute reason at all, in my opinion. And I would like to get to that point with shoes, but I can't. I love shoes so much. And if they're leather, they're usually better quality. But what I will say is when I buy shoes, when I buy these expensive shoes that are, I buy a lot of those Marshalls, Ross that are made of sort of a plasticky or vinyl that look nice. So I do buy a lot of those, but I will splurge once a year or once every 2 years on leather shoes. Leather purses, actually, I haven't spent in a long time because I got such a good quality one a few years ago. I got a couple good quality ones a few years ago and I just flipped them or, I use them regularly. So this is a pair of shoes that I bought, I think a year or two ago. I've used them a couple of times, but they're so nice. They're comfortable. They've got this thick heel. I tend to look better in heels. I don't look very good in flats. I look kind of frumpy. I always try to have at least 2 inches or so. They can be comfortable. And yeah, these are, they look kind of like witches' shoes. I guess you could wear them for Halloween as a witch, but I just like them. I like them. I think they go with almost anything. Again, I won't be buying another pair soon. So indirectly, I'm helping cows by just buying one thing and not buying any more. I know that I'm fishing, but these are those vinyl ones from Life Stride. See, these are nice too. Kind of, sort of like these, obviously very different, but they're both black. They're both about the same height heel, maybe these are a little smaller, so these are a little more sensible. I don't think they're leather. Made in Vietnam. I mean, I try to pay more attention. It seems like if they were leather, it would say leather somewhere. But I don't think they're leather because what I paid for them also, these were not expensive. These were Life Stride. Maybe if there's leather on them, it might be, I should have paid more. It might be these little, this end part here, and then this might be, I just, because of what I paid for them, I don't believe they're leather. I didn't pay very much, but I might be wrong. But again, I bought them many years ago, and I use them, sometimes when I used to go to the office. Now I haven't been going to the office for a year and a half, so what's left? That. Okay, we're through all the shoes. You collect handbags. Don't know why. You just love them. Yeah, you get kind of obsessed with a thing. For me, it's shoes. Handbags, not so much, but they're necessary for me. But so because I love shoes so much, I had my office underneath my desk. They even had, oh my gosh, it was such a beautiful desk. They even had underneath the desk 2 little shelves, like under, and you could put your shoes there. It was like a closet. And you look at the desk and it's perfectly clean and tidy because they had everything. They had a little counter in the front so you could put candy for people who pass by. And I'm so sad to have left that job. Oh well. And even if I could go, I mean, even if I had the guts to ask for my job back, which, believe it or not, it did cross my mind to go back and say, okay, look, if you change this, I'd like to come back. That's going to look really stupid. They'll be like, no, thanks. That's exactly what they'd be like. They wouldn't know what to say, probably. They'd be like, what? Like, we didn't mind you leaving in the first place, so. But, you have these fantasies that they'll realize they were wrong and call you, and we're sorry. We want you to come back and work with us, and we'll change all the policies that bother you. And so they're not going to do that. But, oh, well, yeah. I thought I'd be over it by now. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to thank you all for being here. I'm going to hang up now. It's another hour I've spent. Look at that. How does the time fly? All right. Bye, you guys. I'm sorry. I'll be back tomorrow, and I'll try to be more organized. And have a nice day at work or whatever you're doing. And yeah, write me if you want this book, that dog book where the dogs are shaking around. Write me and I'll send it to you for the cost of shipping. I'll use the cheapest shipping with tracking, which would be from USPS. $8? I don't know. Probably weighs a pound and a half. I don't think it would be that expensive to ship. Okay. Bye, guys. Thanks for listening.